The Alvar Dominion had always viewed humanity as a curious species, ambitious, talkative, endlessly inventive, and tragically naive. To the Dominion's high nobles, Earth's expansion into the stars was a child's reach into a parent's arsenal. They tolerated it only because it amused them. This strange, small species building ships of steel and glass, their fleets crawling between stars like insects chasing fire until humanity dared to speak. Against them, the Dominion's patrol ship Vor-Kalith intercepted the human diplomatic envoy Starlight Dawn in the neutral system of Athanor. The envoy carried Earth's ambassador to the Council of Concord, a meeting meant to settle trade and border disputes between the Dominion and Earth's colonies. The Alvar didn't negotiate. They demonstrated. Without warning, the Vor-Kalith opened fire. The Starlight Dawn was unarmed, a vessel of peace, carrying diplomats, aides, and families. Its final transmission was a desperate cry for parley, cut short by the crack of disintegration beams tearing through her hull. 1,000 lives turned to vapor in an instant. The Alvar commander, Lord Varix Thulin, recorded the destruction himself, a smirk curling across his pale, scaled face. "The humans talk too much," he said to his bridge crew, his voice like a serpent's hiss. "Let this be the lesson their kind remembers. The Dominion commands silence." The crew laughed. The recording was broadcast across their empire, a warning, a boast, and an insult. Earth received it less than 12 hours later. There was no response. The Dominion's analysts called it fear. Their advisors called it wisdom. But deep within the data centers beneath the Rocky Mountains, Earth's strategic command processed that footage in silence. For 47 hours, every signal leaving Earth was muted. Every fleet transmission, every diplomatic request, every relay station went dark. And in that silence, something began to stir. The Empire's laughter, the Alvar Dominion celebrated their triumph. Their noble houses filled their marble halls with feasts and orchestras. Broadcasts replayed the Starlight Dawn's destruction as an example of Dominion justice. Their diplomats called Earth's silence proof of submission. "Humans," Lord Varix said at a banquet, "are creatures of noise, always shouting, singing, and sending their little messages across the void. But when disciplined properly, even they can learn quiet." His words earned applause, laughter, and 1,000 crystal toasts. In orbit above the Dominion capital of Alvar Prime, the Imperial fleet stood in formation, shimmering hulls of silver and violet light, elegant and unchallenged. Around them, 100 conquered species served as attendants and laborers. A week passed. Then two. Still, Earth said nothing. A few nervous voices within the Dominion Senate murmured that perhaps the silence was unnatural, too complete. No retaliation, no appeal, no morning transmissions. Even Earth's entertainment networks went dark. But the nobles dismissed it. "Perhaps they finally understand their place," Lord Varix sneered. Then came the first whisper. Faint, static-laden, carried through the deep band relays. A human signal. A single phrase, "We hear you." No source identified. No location. The message repeated once, then vanished. The Dominion's analysts dismissed it as debris interference. But out in the dark, between stars, beyond sensors, Earth's silence was ending. When the silence broke, it began not with war drums or declarations, but with a frequency. Every Dominion listening post on the human frontier picked up the same coded pattern. Subharmonic pulses that resonated through communication arrays like distant thunder. The first pulse came at 0300 Standard Galactic Time. The second, 20 minutes later, each louder than the last. When the third pulse struck, it carried a voice. Calm, human, cold. You wanted silence. Now hear what comes after it. The Dominion fleet scrambled. Orders flew through command channels. Patrol squadrons were dispatched to every human border world. But their scanners found nothing. No transmissions, no fleets, no ships, until the stars themselves began to dim. From the black between systems, shadows emerged. Kilometer-long forms sliding from behind gas giants and asteroid fields. Earth's fleets had not come from known slipspace routes. They had hidden in the void itself, wrapped in magnetic shrouds and silence drives. They called them thunder fleets. Each vessel bore no paint, no insignia, just the deep, matte black of storm clouds before lightning strikes. At the heart of the formation was ESS Retribution, Earth's first Dreadnought-class battleship. Its hull massed more than an entire Dominion armada. Its engines burned blue-white, like the breath of a dying star. When it transmitted, every Dominion channel froze. "This is Earth Command. You killed our envoy. You killed our children. You wanted silence. We obliged. But now the silence ends. The Dominion's frontier defense line at the Kelros Belt never stood a chance. In 9 minutes, the Retribution and her escort fleet annihilated 12 capital ships, 3 stations, and 2 planetside garrisons. The human weapons, mass graviton lances and plasma torpedoes, bypassed shields, ripping ships apart from the inside. Dominion crews died without ever hearing the battle begin. The Retribution's transmissions were always the same. For the Starlight Dawn, for those silenced, Thunder answers. And then, Static E, the Thunder campaign in the following month, Earth's fleets advanced with impossible precision. Every strike was surgical. Every engagement began with a low-band pulse, that same thunderous hum, and ended with nothing left but debris fields. The Dominion's War Council, for the first time in centuries, was silent. They can't have built these ships in secret, one admiral protested. Our surveillance of their yards was absolute, but they had. Earth had learned to hide in plain sight, turning shipyards into asteroid husks, masking drives behind mining operations, constructing fleets beneath the ice of Europa, under the crusts of Mars and Ceres. For 20 years, they had prepared contingency fleets. Humanity's paranoia, born from 1,000 years of war on Earth, had simply adapted to a cosmic scale. Now that preparation burned across the stars. The Thunder fleets tore through Dominion strongholds, their communications jammed by human AI systems that mimicked Dominion signal codes perfectly. Whole fleets were misdirected into ambushes by fabricated orders. Even when the Dominion tried to counterattack, the humans were already gone, their ships vanishing into the void, their strikes leaving only silence. The Alvar Emperor demanded vengeance. Crush them! Wipe Earth from the stars! So they did. 100 Dominion warships descended on Sol. What they found was nothing like the worlds they remembered. Earth's orbit glittered with defense platforms the size of cities. The moon was no longer barren rock. It was a fortress, carved with railguns and shield arrays. Mars shone red with weapon batteries and fleet foundries. Humanity had turned its home system into a citadel. And when the Dominion fleet entered range, Earth's reply was a single phrase broadcast in every frequency known to galactic science. Silence was never surrender. Then the system roared. Dozens of kinetic lances fired from orbit, carving through the Dominion formation like divine wrath. Massive tungsten rods, thunder spears, struck their ships at a fraction of light speed, creating impacts brighter than the sun. For 37 minutes, the space above Earth became a storm. Blinding light, collapsing shields, hulls fragmenting under seismic force. When the smoke cleared, the Dominion's greatest fleet was gone, not defeated. Erased HFY, the fall of Alvar Prime, the Emperor fled to his throne world. The nobles called emergency sessions, their voices cracking with disbelief. How can they strike so far? How can they move unseen? But humanity's fleets were already there. 1,000 Dominion systems had fallen in 6 weeks. Their communications grid was shattered. And now, above Alvar Prime, the storm broke one final time. The Retribution appeared in orbit, her massive hull framed against the violet sun. Every Dominion ship in range turned its guns upon her, and she did not move. When the first barrage hit, her shields flared blue, but she held steady. Then she transmitted one final message. You wanted silence. You shall have it. The Retribution's main batteries charged. The sound, or rather, the vibration, was carried across the electromagnetic spectrum. It wasn't sound as we understand it, but to every sensor, every ship, every being listening in the system, it felt like thunder. The first shot cracked the atmosphere. The second split the planetary shields. The third struck Alvar Prime itself. A beam so bright it could be seen from neighboring systems. When the light faded, the capital was gone. The planet's crust had been split, molten rivers carving across continents. The Emperor's palace was vaporized. The Dominion's seat of power had become a silent grave. Humanity's fleet did not stay to conquer. They did not broadcast victory speeches. They left the way they came. Through silence. All that remained was the storm's echo. See. After the thunder weeks later, among the ruins of Alvar space, a single Dominion scout vessel found an open transmission. It came from the Retribution's final relay buoy, left in orbit of the destroyed capital. It played one recording. Not of war, but of the Starlight Dawn. The laughter of children aboard the envoy ship. The voice of Ambassador Kira Holt reading a speech about unity. Then the final crackle before her ship's destruction. After that, nothing but the faint roll of thunder. The Dominion fractured. Half their vassal races rebelled. The other half fled beyond known space.